Thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a disassembly tutorial on the Academy plastic model Desert Eagle MKVII. If your magazine looks like this, and it's an air cocking manual pistol, well, you get the point. Oh, here goes the mag. Then you've come to the right place. So this is going to be a complete disassembly, so this might be a long video, but I'm going to go over every single part in the slide and the frame and the barrel. Then what you normally first do is press this little button here where my thumb is. You press that in, and then you'd be able to rotate to the other side, but there's a screw which is blocking that right here. So you just need to get that screw out, like I am doing so right now. And then you have to push on that button too, so make sure you're doing that. See how I just pushed that switch out? And then you'll want to also hold the button in place while you're twisting it out. So like I'm not letting the button itself spin while I turn the screw. Alright, and then it's going to eventually come free. Pull up the screw, and then this part falls out. Let me change up the focus here. There we go. So the button falls out, and then eventually this is going to want to come out, and then what you would have to do now, then what you can do now is you can just push it forward after you cock the hammer. Oops. There, see? You gotta kind of put some pressure on it, but it will come right off. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just get these safety levers off. I might need a bigger, oh, this one's doing it, okay. So it's just a Phillips head screw. That's all it's holding them in. There's no detent button or anything like that to watch out for. Pull it out. Pull it out. And that's all that you're going to be left with is just this little hole. There. So what you're left with for these is, so you're going to have two screws and then your two safety levers here. And that's all you're going to have from this step. Put those off to the side in a safe spot. And then now we can begin to get the barrel and slide separated. Alright, next step, all we have to do to get this broken down is pull on the recoil rod here. Just pull it forwards, and it lifts up and moves off to the side, and then you just pull it in the opposite direction, and it just comes out. So you have the recoil rod and then the recoil rod spring. And then you can pull out the barrel. We're not going to be able to pull anything out just yet. We have to turn it upside down, and then we have to pull from the top. Pull it out, and then you want to pull out the cover for the hop-up dial, and it just kind of flexes out like so, and then you might get the barrel out at the same time, and then the hop-up window can just come off, and then there's this part too, so be careful for that. Alright, so all we have left to take out now at this point is the loading nozzle assembly, the main spring, and then there's a link carriage underneath the spring that operates the safety on the inside, whereas the levers activate it on the outside. So we're going to get all this out, and how you do that is you just lift up on the back part. There's a plate back behind the spring, and you just pull that up. Well, you have to push it back and then pull it up. My bad. There we go. See? Pull it out. Rather tough to do at first. Okay. So you're going to have the plate. Here it is. Spring. And then you're going to have, at the very bottom, the loading nozzle and the piston inside. And then you're going to have that safety link, which you can just pull out. Here it is. And then we have just to get out the loading nozzle. Now we have to flex the slide a bit to do this. So I'm just going to pull it in an outward direction, so like pulling it this way. I'm going to pull it out that way and then lift up with my finger, pushing the nozzle up to the sky. It's rather difficult to get out at first. Oh shit, okay, so you want to make sure that you keep it like facing this orientation, because if it rotates, it's going to be like hard, if not impossible, to get it out. I forgot about that. So I got to keep it oriented like this while I'm taking it out. Almost got it. Oh, almost there. There we go, got it. Very stubborn. And then there's the only thing left in there is the rear iron sight, which is not molded into the slide, but I can't figure out how to remove it. But if someone wants to see that, I'll do a request on it, or a video request if somebody wants me to do it. Okay, piston. Here's your piston, and then here's your loading nozzle and clear. Check for compression. To do that, just cover the exit hole with your finger, and then try to push the piston in, and if you get a lot of resistance or it's impossible to do, then you have good compression. So, that's good. Okay, what else is left in... Oh, I guess I can put the slide back together now. Alright, so now we're going to work in reverse. So first thing you're going to want to do is take your safety carriage, have this part facing in this way. Just put it down there, easy as pie, like so. Okay, just like that. Now we have to get the piston back in. And to do that, we just have to do the exact opposite of what we just did, which is just opening up the slide, flexing it, and then making sure to... It's a fairly straightforward process. Just put it down in the orientation you think it would with this flange right here. So you're going to notice there's like a bridge here, and then there's a bridge back here where my finger's pointing. You want to get the nozzle. It's got these arms on it on the sides here. You want to get those just inside of those bridges on the inside. That's where it's supposed to go. Alright, let me... Okay, alright. Fuck. Oh wait, no, I got it right. Okay, never mind. Ta-da! Okay, so we want it to go... Alright, so we want to get this plug here in the back with the little... with the rising part on top. We want that facing towards the sun we're putting it in. So just push it in like so. Just get it right back in. Come on. Ta-da! Just like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm sure you guys can figure out how to put a Desert Eagle safety lever on, especially if we took one out earlier. Alright, and then that should be, it should be able to go up and down, click into two places, and be in on the left side here. So this is what a fully assembled slide assembly looks like. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to take apart the barrel. So the first thing you're going to do with the barrel is you're going to take this, there's like a window thing here. You just got to flex it off, and it comes out pretty easy, so just wiggle it off. It flexes easy, and then you got that. And then you put it off to the side, and then there's going to be a screw right here. It's a big Phillips head screw. you unscrew that, and then you can detach the outer barrel into this, this square looking inner barrel one. Okay. And then there's nothing more for you to do with the outer barrel. And then now what we're going to do, so at this point you can use a heat gun to take the orange tip off. I'm pretty sure this will work without the orange tip on. Yeah, because the barrel is all just one unit, so you can take the orange tip off without having to worry about it. Alright, and then, so to get this apart, there's going to be 3 screws here, one, that we have to get off. Okay, I would like to warn you that, as you can see, I tried getting the orange tip off, but you can actually work on disassembling the inner barrel assembly and the loading chamber without having to try to get the orange tip off. But if this little plate here, where the screw threads into, comes out, it's going to be difficult to put back in, but not impossible, not super hard. And the 2-piece construction here is actually able to flex apart pretty wide, but it's up to you. If you can put it back like I've shown you, then, or if you can put it back without having to get the orange tip off, like if you're okay just splitting it a little bit in half over here and then working like that, then I would not recommend taking off the orange tip. I would recommend the orange tip removal as a last resort. Alright, so I took the 3 screws out, and then I tried to get the orange tip off, but while it does look like a clean pull, I didn't melt the glue all the way with boiling water, so it broke off the tip, and the inner barrel is exposed, and there's not anything holding it on the front. But now I can take the barrel in half. Do be careful. Make sure you get it hot enough without melting the plastic, but you also have to melt the glue at the same time. It's a really complicated kind of thing. So now that we've done this, we can pull this in half. Now, first thing is be mindful of this little nut here. This is what the screw that holds the outer barrel assembly into the inner barrel assembly. So make sure you don't lose that. Then we go over here to the guts of the inner barrel assembly. Just lift it out. Okay, that's everything. So we have our adjustment tab for the hop up. Then we have, this is the hard crown that goes on the end of the barrel. And this is the hop up rubber itself, the bucking. Let's pull all that off so I can show you. And I believe the inner barrel is actually the same on each side. So, okay. Tab comes off, or the adjustment tab comes off from the back. And then the hop up rubber, which does indeed have a hop up. And then you have that crown thing that attaches to the inner barrel. So all I'd have to do to make sure that this is working is make sure there's no oil on it, which there isn't, thankfully. Alright, and then the hop-up rubber goes back on. And then you can't really put it in a certain way that would be wrong, because it just kind of like clicks into place as you rotate the inner barrel, and then, see? Alright, let me show you that again. Alright, so I can't put it in here, but then I'm going to rotate it, and then it just kind of fits into place, right? And then after that, you put the adjustment tab back on, and the correct direction is when the little, when it rises up in a triangle, but the tip is pointing towards this way. You don't want the triangle going this way with the indicators. So after that, you have the inner barrel assembled. Now all you have to do to put it back together here is just put it in, and then take note on this little tab right here where my fingernail is, the little plastic tab, that goes into the left, into this little slot here where my fingernail is. So that's going to show you where to put it. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to move the adjustment tab back up into the middle. Wait, I don't think it took place. Okay, there we go. Now I can move the adjustment tab. I'm just going to move it into the middle. But once you feel it like sink into the inner barrel chamber, then you've got it good. And all you have to do now is just close it up. And you are good to go. Uh-oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? It's not clicking into place. I think something's wrong. Okay, so something's wrong. Let me take a look. Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, the little tab here wasn't positioned properly. That's supposed to go into the left, so I gotta reposition that. Alright, let me just make sure I've got it. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit, try to find that spot. Okay, I can't move it anymore. And then I'm gonna put the adjustment tab back to the middle, push it in, make sure it's not rotatable, and then now I can close it up. Okay, and now it closes perfectly. See? Alright, now I'm going to put the screws back in, and then that is going to be the end of the inner barrel assembly. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to reassemble the barrel assembly. So inner barrel, and then the outer barrel. And what you're going to do is easily just slide it back in, like so. And then you have to just put that screw in there that holds the two pieces together. Sorry, I'm making this video late at night, that's why I'm being kind of quiet. Okay. And that's it. That's all I have to do now. That's the reassembly and disassembly of the barrel all the way through. Okay, I forgot one piece. Okay, so we have to get the this little thing here put back into the chamber, and all you have to do for that is just kind of flex the legs around the chamber. It's a lot easier than I'm making it look. Okay, there it goes. Alright, there we go. So, let me just give you... Alright, that's how it's supposed to go. And then the legs go in between here. Ta-da! Alright, to wrap this up, I'm going to show how to reassemble the slide in its entirety. So what you would have to do, I'll take off the loading chamber for now. So I'm going to put the loading or the hop-up cover back on first. Like so. You just have to slide it on, or flex it on, whatever you want to do. And then what I'm going to do is come... Here, let me adjust the focus here. Alright, so I'm going to come in at an angle like this, and you can see the raised portions on the hop-up cover. You want to fit those inside so that they're going to go right in front of the bridge that the loading nozzle sits on, so it's going to go right here where my fingernail is. Let me see if I can... Okay, yeah, it's going to go right there. So let me get started. Okay. So I've got the hop-up cover on, I'm holding it in place, and then I'm going to try to get that hop-up cover There we go. Okay. Wait, nope, that's not it. Okay, I've got to come back at it. And I think I have to kind of flex or squeeze the hop-up cover into place, but I could be wrong. There we go, I think. Let me see. Oh yeah, no, it's in. It's completely in. That's good. Alright. And then all we have to do now is just put the recoil spring back into place. And how we do that is we just pull up on the coils here and then push. There's a hole here that you push the recoil spring assembly into, and then you push it into the left all the way down and then try to push and then guide it back into where my, see that? I'm moving the tip here. It's going to go right here in a hole. There's a hole. And then, ta-da! Just like that. Alright, so we got it. That's a fully functional Desert Eagle slide and barrel assembly. So this one's ready to go. Woot! Alright, so now we're going to start to work on the frame. And I think the barrel as a whole was the hardest part of getting the gun apart. And the frame is just so much easier. So if you've got the barrel apart and put back together, this will probably be a cakewalk for you. So the first thing you want to do is, I'm going to show you grip removal. How you remove the grips is you just peel them off like so, and then bring it back around. Do the same on the other side, and then they just kind of peel off. They're like a flexible rubber, so it's not hard at all to put this back on. See that Phillips head screw? All you got to do is just unscrew that, and then it's going to come out. Ta-da! Get out. Okay. Wait, where'd that screw go? Oh, it's still in there. Okay. And then the other side will come out, and it's got its own little spring assembly here. All I'm going to do is just drop it in, push it in. Ta-da! Now it's springing up back and forth. Hold it in place, come to the other side, and then I'm just going to throw this part back in on top of it. Whoop, on top of it. And then I'm going to, while pressing the magazine release button, I'm going to screw it back in. Ta-da! Now let's test it. Perfect. Alright, so that worked out pretty well. Alright, now we're going to get the frame apart, the internal assembly and the firing mechanism, trigger, what have you. And the first thing I'm going to do is just push this little pin right here out. Nope. There we go. Push out this pin. There we go. And what that pin does is that if we flip over here, you can see that it's pushed out the magazine catch, or slide catch. So you pull that out, and then put the magazine catch off to the side. Now we can take out the spring assembly here, and the carriage. You can just pull the carriage out. Then we're going to see that the trigger is connected to the bar here. So we can just pull the trigger out, connects like this. Just like that. You just push that little peg into the hole, put the trigger off to the side for now, and then we are left with this carriage, which you don't have to do anything with. It's held together with 2 screws, but there's no other parts inside of it. It's just a 2-piece frame kind of deal. So we can put all the other parts aside for now, these specifically. And now we have to get one final pin out, and this one comes out in a certain direction, so make sure that you push it out from okay, last resort. Oh shit, that poked me. Poked me good. Alright, so now that we have that pin out, just pull it up. Comes out. And then we can remove the trigger assembly. Just lifts right up, and then, oh, we lost our trigger bar. So now I'm just going to show you real quick how that's supposed to look. Just like that. And then it moves up and down like so. Alright, now we're going to move on to the surprisingly not so complicated trigger mechanism. It also has a hammer mech inside of it, so yeah, let's get in. There's 3 screws here. There's one here, I believe one here, and then one right here where my fingernail is. Yep, right here where my fingernail is. And you want to make sure that you, if you have your hammer cocked, you want to make sure that you press down like so to disengage your hammer. You don't want to open this thing up with your hammer engaged. That's how you do it. Alright, let's get into opening this up. I would like to note that we have entirely disassembled the frame at this point, now that we are working on the trigger unit and the hammer unit, so congratulations. Alright, so now I'm just going to get the screws out, and then I'm going to pull this little box apart. Alright, so not all my screws are coming out, so I'm going to try to get them out by pulling the left side of the shell out while trying to unscrew the screws. See how that works out. Here we go. Alright. Oh, okay. Got it. Alright, now we can finally get at this thing. Go ahead and dump all the contents of the mech box out, because I'm going to show you step by step where all the springs go and how they look. Here is mine for the hammer. Ta-da! Now I'm going to show you how to put the spring in there. Okay. You want to take the short leg, fit it in like here, and then push it down and bend the leg down into like that. Okay, and that's all for the hammer actually. Let's put that back into our frame. Okay. Alright, see how that leg is behind this little wall here? Ta-da! Alright, so next up is going to be this middle component, and that's how the spring looks. Notice I have one leg. Bring this up close to you. I've got one leg against that wall there, and then I have this hooked leg just hanging up. And what you're going to do now is you are going to place this piece and keep it like in this direction, and you're going to put the pin on that piece into this hole, and then pull back, and then try to get, there we go. Okay, I want to show you. Try to get the hook on that spring to the back of here, and then you can see that the spring actually moves about. Alright, that's how that goes. And then for the final, the sear that lets go of the piston, this one here. So here's what the spring looks like. Okay, it's got another hook, and then it's got a leg. Alright, you're going to push that and down into here. Alright, make sure the leg is... Alright, so we're going to work backwards here, starting with the hammer. Remember how I taught you to position it. Okay. Like so, and then I'm just going to fit that down onto the biggest circle. Like so. Right. Get that leg in front of the, or no, behind that wall. There we go. Alright, come on, come on, come on. Nah. Okay, there we go. Okay. Lovely. Here. Oh. Alright, I think I got this. So that just means I have to put in the actual sear for the piston head. Oh, fuck. I'm just gonna take out the hammer for now. Fuck that. That's easy. Gotta get that leg behind the wall somehow. Okay, there we go. Alright. I got it. Alright, leg is behind the wall. Appears to be acting normal. And now we can put the hammer in and see if everything is in place like it should be. Okay, and I'm going to close it up and see if it works. That was way harder the second time I did it. It was crazy. Jesus, take the wheel. There we go. Yay! I got it. Haha. So now I'm going to close up the screws. And then I'm going to show you how to put the frame internals back into the frame. Oh, there isn't a screw in there. Okay. Alright. Let me get this thing back sealed up. Okay, so we are on the home stretch for the frame. So remember to make sure if your hammer and trigger mechanism work, pull the hammer back and then push down on the disconnector. And if it works, it works. Alright, try again. Alright, goody. So what we're going to do now is take this trigger bar, put it up here, and then we are going to take the trigger, and then we're going to guide all of this into the frame. Okay? Or we can just do the trigger bar for now, since it's that much easier. Okay, just push it in. It just drops in to the frame. Alright, make sure it's in the right spot. Yes, it is. Alright, now we have to get the trigger bar back to the trigger. But before we do that, we're going to put this little frame thing back in. Okay. And then now, what we have to do is get the trigger back in. So I'm gonna pull the trigger bar up just a little bit, and then I'm gonna connect the left leg here, and then I'm going to pull it down, push it into the trigger hole. Okay. Alright, make sure, oh, I gotta maneuver it in. Okay, gotta back it up a little bit, and, Alright, let me try that again. Alright, so I gotta turn this thing around entirely. Alright, there we go. Oh, okay, there we are. And then the hammer assembly, or this thingamajig. I have no idea what this thing does. Alright, and then push the hammer. Wait, did I just lose my... Oh no, I still got it, okay. Alright, there we go. Now I'm gonna put the trigger pin back in. And how I'm gonna do that is coming over to this side of the frame. And while holding the trigger in place, making sure it's not going to go anywhere, I'm going to put the fake slide catch in, like so. Push it in. Alright. There we go. Clicks into place, and now the trigger cannot come out. Alright, now we have to secure the trigger box to the frame. And how we're going to do that is taking our pin from earlier, we're going to put that pin through the left side. Now you're going to see that there's a smooth end and then a rough end on the right here. The rough end on the right is going to be the last part to go in. Start with a smooth one, push it in with your fingernail or some tool. You make sure it's all the way in. Alright. If you don't push that pin in enough, it's going to obstruct the slide from moving. Okay, now I'm going to put the grips back on. Just remember folding them over, flexing them, and then they'll just come right back on. Like so. And then what do we have left? What do we have left? Do we have anything left? Nope, I don't think we do, so that's a completed frame. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to put the gun back together in its completed form, now that we have disassembled and reassembled all the components. To do that, we just have to cock the hammer first, and then slide the... Oh wait, no, hang on, one thing first. We're going to push in this takedown lever, and you want it, like, facing this way when you put it in at like a, like if it's facing, you want this arrow facing 6 o'clock, right? So I'm just gonna put that back in, like so, alright? Try pushing it all the way to the right, and once it won't go to the right any further, now we can put the slide back on. How you're gonna do that is just guide it over the rails from the front. It's a lot easier than I'm making it look. There we go. And then bring it around town. Alright, now we've got one more thing to do. We have to get the takedown pin put in. So just push this pin in on the other side, and then rotate it until it locks in place. Okay. Make sure you're pushing on it too at the same time. Okay. And I believe we have one more screw lying around here. Yep. Okay. All we have to do now is put in the first screw that we took out right here. Oh, my takedown pin fell out. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing we did before, which is holding this in place with your finger, making sure it doesn't turn, and then screwing this screw in. And then you want to align the there's a little hole in that takedown lever where the screw fits into. You want to align that too while you're doing this. Alright, come on. I believe I've only got a little more left to go, but it's not quite in all the way yet. Let me try moving around the... There we go. Alright. Baba Booey.